Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You join me on a members grid 3 for 2 evening at TeamSport in Sheffield. This is the first of the 3 sessions. So we go straight into our first flying lap and straight into the yellow flag test. Now being a members session, I'm assuming these are going to be, yep, they're going to be short. So as we come around this corner here, we get the first red flag. Now listen to the car as it comes to a stop. That was a groan from the brakes. Yeah, that set the precedent for this session. This kart was not a happy kart. Now outside, the temperature was about 30 degrees, this was during this heat wave, and despite being 8 o'clock in the evening, it was still 30 degrees outside as I arrived. It was very hot inside, although to be fair, not as hot as I actually expected it. But yeah, this was an unhappy kart, and going up these ramps, in particular these big ones, it showed. On my first flying lap, I'm already letting someone past. So I thought, let's try and follow them, see if it's just the kart being slow, or whether there's something else wrong. So the first flying lap included the yellow flag and the red flag period, so 1 minute 21, that is what it is. I'm seeing I'm being caught again. I was let out, I think, 4th of 10 karts, so I've got 6 behind me that clearly want to get past. I'm always the person that's not going to knowingly hold someone up. If there's someone faster behind me, I'll move over and just let them through. But at the moment, they're not quite catching quickly enough, so I'm carrying on. But yeah, coming up these big ramps here, this just feels so slow. Yeah, my hands are off the wheel, I'm confused. Well, not confused, but I know this kart is slow. But I thought I'd just give it a chance. It's hot outside, maybe all of them are slow. But also maybe not. That's a slightly quicker lap. It's off the pace, but is that right for this temperature? Is everyone else going this slowly? I don't know at this point. I've waved someone else through because they get caught. So again, I'm going to try and stick to the back of them, only they've gone and done that, which is unhelpful. I've seen another car coming through as well, so I'm again just pulling off to the side, letting them both through, and let them get on with whatever they want to do, which in this case is push each other around by the looks of things. Yeah, a members session, obviously we're expecting long periods of green flag. There shouldn't be too much bad driving. We should just be able to focus on myself and get on with it. Unfortunately, I'm focusing on a broken kart. Now you've seen I've caught up through that section slightly, but then they're just pulling away again, particularly on these big ramps. This kart has no go to it at all. 1 minute 4, that's exactly what this kart can do. I'm flat out doing everything I can. I've watched this back a couple of times just to make sure this wasn't just me, the heat getting to me, but no, this was definitely an issue with the kart. I can definitely go do this line faster, and that's the issue, it's the acceleration out of the corners. There are a few other areas where the kart does give that little groan that we had at the beginning. Mostly as I've come to there's another red flag coming up, and it's as I come to a stop again there. But I've had a couple through the corners. So let's just play out the end of this lap and see, did we improve on that 104? We don't know because of the red flag. Again, it's a nice quick one. I've not bothered to cut it out because it is so short. You get that little brake groan again as I came to the stop. Now I mentioned this to the guys as I got out, that there was a brake groan and it felt like the brakes were dragging slightly. And they did tell me it had just been checked. Again, I've let another kart through. I let 2 through. They showed themselves up the inside and were clearly going fastest, so that was absolutely fine. I've got, as I say, I'm not here to hold anyone up. Let's just do my lap. So yeah, I'd mentioned it to the guys as I got out. It's like, look, it's got this brake groaning as you come to a stop, sometimes in the slower corners. It's very slow up the ramps. It has nothing. And they went, oh, it had just been checked, it's fine. I said, it might be worth checking it again because it's not right. And then in the second session I saw that they gave me the same kart. This was kart 19. I saw that they gave me the same kart, so I kicked up a little bit and they put me in a different kart. So we'll see for session 2 whether I'm actually any quicker. But I will say that they took this one out, did another kart check on it during that session, and it disappeared from the pits. So they clearly agreed with me that there was something wrong. So this was all about trying to improve my line, trying to improve my time. Obviously, being so hot, I wasn't likely to get close to my personal best, which is 57.9. My average sort of time usually would be these mid 58s that I can do regularly and consistently, and this kart just would not do it. As you see, we're over a minute on every lap here, and it's not happy. It's not a happy kart, and I'm getting more and more frustrated because I'm realising, as I've done my fastest lap of the session on a 1:02, I've realised that actually this isn't an issue with the kart being, or not being used in the previous sessions, so therefore having cold tyres and stuff and a cold engine might explain the slow up the ramps, but actually I actually think it was getting slightly worse throughout the entire session, and by this point I've done almost 10 minutes of driving. It's not worth me pitting to try and swap out the kart, because the time that's going to take, they've already got the next group in their karts, the time it's going to take for me to do that, because I'll probably be sent upstairs, lose a bit of time. I'm better off just keeping my head in it, making sure I'm focused on my line getting the fastest I can get out of the kart, and then try and get a different kart for the next session. And that's what I did for the rest of this session, going round and round, getting passed by absolutely everyone, apart from one kart. So my total laps was 13, there was one other kart that had a total laps of 13. And maybe they did pass me, maybe they didn't pass me, I don't know whether they started in front or behind, I can't remember where they started. Maybe they had a broken kart as well, I don't know. Maybe they'll have their own racing driver excuses as it is. But yeah, this just wasn't my session. I was hoping, letting karts past, I would be able to, as I'm getting more and more frustrated going up that ramp, I was hoping if I let karts past I'd be able to tack onto the back of them and learn, see if there was anything where I could go faster. This section here, I know I'm pretty quick, generally, as long as I don't make that mistake, or where I just get the brakes a little bit too late. Another 1:02. And another groan from the brakes as I come to a stop there. And just another very quick red flag for something on the track. Back under the yellows and then back straight to the greens again. Yeah, I was hoping to stick onto the back of another kart and follow them, see if I could find somewhere I could improve, but it just wasn't to be. So you can see they're already loaded the karts. We're using the downstairs pit. You can see they've already got the karts in, people in the karts for the next session. So there was no point me going into the pits to try and get a different kart at this point. I'd left it too late. Had I done it on lap 2 or 3, wouldn't have been as much of an issue. I'd have just swapped it out. But yeah, as long as I don't run wide through there, I'm pretty quick, and I do know that I can catch people even with this broken kart. But everywhere else on the lap, particularly these ramps, going up the ramps, the big ones especially, but up the little ones as well, I could just feel it. And in hindsight, possibly it's a wheel bearing rather than the brakes, because the groaning did happen through the corners when I wasn't on the brakes. At times it doesn't actually come out on camera, but I definitely heard it through some of these hairpins. So maybe there was a wheel bearing rather than anything else. But yeah, I've seen some more karts catching me, so I'm just keeping an eye on behind me, making sure that when they do catch, I leave them space to pass, especially up this ramp. Kart number 7, I'm pretty sure that one's passed me twice now. And you can just see how much of a run they got out of that corner. I hadn't backed off at all, my foot was still flat, fully on the throttle the whole time. You can see the speed difference. Up these big ramps, there was just nothing. Back into a racing lap on a 105. Yeah, the more I drove it, the more it felt slower. I think possibly I started to overdrive it, try and get it to feel faster, because I didn't know what my times are, obviously I've been driving around, but I do know that the kart felt slow. And it wasn't just me having a bad day, it was the kart was slow. And you can see how frustrated I got, particularly when it came to these big ramps where I'm lifting my hands off and just in frustration, look, I'm just go. So a couple of laps left. We already know that I can't go any quicker because I've got my 102 being my fastest lap here. But I'm consistent around the 103, 104, 105, depending on what mood the car was in for that particular lap. That's a 104 flat. That's a fun time to have, just a flat figure like that. But yeah, it was just what it was. It was an awful session. I was quite frustrated at this point and almost willing for it to come over, as I've taken frustration out on the steering wheel again there. I was just waiting for this session to be over, and it nearly came. I think actually I backed off slightly as well because I thought possibly I was overdriving it. Yeah, I think it had got to my head that maybe I'd been overdriving it through that back section down there by the downstairs pits. I was losing a bit of time, so I decided to take it slightly easier through there. I don't even think I'm full throttle through there now. Yeah, I think at this point I've definitely backed off. And I'm just waiting for this checkered flag so I can get a different kart for the next session. Another 1 minute 5. It's consistently around that sort of time. Obviously I backed off slightly through that lap, but yeah, I kept it consistent around the same sort of times. They're just slow times. The next fastest lap, the next person with the fastest lap in front of me, so I came 10th off 10th, so last, obviously. I was a 1 minute 2, and the one in front was a 1 minute flat. The rest of them were all in 59s or 58. No, there were no 58s for this first session, they were all in 59s for the other 8 karts. But yeah, it just came to me that this just was not for me. So as you come around the top section on the final lap, I just want to say once again, thank you very much for joining me. Please do like the video, even if this one wasn't that great. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next time for session number 2 of this Grid 3 for 2 event.